For sure.
It's
So, what are the
That's
negative
what I was just gonna ask if
aspects
you didn't.
of exposure? Like bad opportunities or situations. I know Jay, you were mentioning the front page, and you said you asked to get removed. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
For me, the front page thing, and I kind of mentioned it in passing earlier, the like general exposure versus targeted exposure. And general exposure is things like front page, and maybe some other things on, like, if you were advertising on like AdWords or something like super general, right? Trying to catch somebody. And then you have targeted exposure, which is like raids from friends, people from your directory, people that might be a little bit more sticky. Like it might stick around a little bit longer. For the front page, for me, like, beyond the metrics of it, right? So like, obviously we're getting some more followers, and like channel views went crazy high.
Through the
Followers,
roof.
yeah, followers didn't really like it. It got really separated. But that wasn't even really a big thing. It was more like the mental stuff, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of, for me, and I don't want to make light of that opportunity from Twitch. Like, I tried to make a very good point that it's a huge opportunity. They're, Twitch is trying to do right by their partners and people like that to give them that opportunity, but it still kind of came back to, it was like artificial inflation. Like, a lot of it is numbers. A lot of the people that are those numbers from front page aren't like real people that are going to engage with you, engage with your community. A lot of it's almost like a hollow number. And I didn't see much increase in chatters. I didn't see much increase in like revenue, which, that wasn't the big thing. But you do see an increase in trolls and people that are just like wanting to take you out of your element and really trying to get in your head and trying to take away from your community. I on the statistics part of it, I didn't really know what was real anymore. I didn't know what our average number was anymore, beyond what was on front page. And then things like Twitch bounties or paid sponsorships and things like that, they were using those metrics, which again were inflated. And it didn't make me personally feel right to lie, essentially. I mean, not purposefully, but essentially lie to a company about what our metrics are.
It wasn't a representation of your value, but it was what you had.
Right.
It was the only thing that you had to give.
Right. So that made me feel a little like there was a couple of bounties where I got paid more because of those opportunities. And it made me feel kind of gross because no, like, I don't know. I'm
no, I totally understand.
Absolutely.
I'm a special kind of person in that I'm weird and I overthink. I mean,
you
a
have
lot of us
ethics?
overthink stuff.
What?
Yeah, right. Whatever. But
Scandalous.
I think a lot of it really depends on what you want. Because there's a lot of streamers, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of streamers that are more entertaining than I am that can hold a stream without a ton of interaction. Like, maybe they're super good at the game, or they're just super funny, or whatever it is. And so maybe they don't have that tight knit community feel as much, and chat just kind of just goes, and they'll pick out stuff every once in a while. I could see a lot more value for them because it's like adding to the pot. But for somebody like me who wants it to be more intimate, I want people to feel more of a sense of community and stuff. It diluted that feeling for me. And not to say that there wasn't some awesome people that came from that opportunity, because there was, but it just, I don't know. I started to feel disjointed a little bit from the community. I tried to make a point of like adding community things just to try to bring that feeling back. And I got to a certain point where, it got to a certain point where I was like, you know what? I don't think it's worth it for me right now. Maybe in the future, when it's not doubling or tripling our numbers, it would feel a little bit, if it's just like a little bit add on top, it might feel better. But for me right now, it just didn't feel worth it with all the other stuff.